Today, a judge threw out a plea deal for a former Lee Summit daycare owner. Emily Hammerly is accused of failing to report sexual abuse. The suspect in the case is her son. Joseph Hammerly faces 2 counts of statutory sodomy. Before going to cover breaking news, KCTV5's Emily Rittman spoke with one of the victim's fathers.
We are concealing the father's identity to protect his child's privacy. When the father learned about the plea agreement, he said he wanted to let the community know about it. He describes the now rejected plea deal as what would have been a slap on the wrist.
Justice for kids!
Outside the courtroom, protesters chanted as Emily Hammerly left the courthouse.
The court will deny the plea agreement.
Under the denied plea agreement, Emily Hammerly would have received a suspended imposition of sentence, meaning the felony would not appear on her public record unless she failed to complete 5 years of probation. Her defense attorney described the consequences as appropriate because Hammerly would be supervised and lost her livelihood as a child care provider. One of the victim's fathers disagrees wholeheartedly.
Emily was put in charge of protecting these kids, and instead she worried about herself, she worried about her son, she worried about her business, and she tried to cover it up.
He says after his daughter reported Joseph Hammerly sexually abused her at the daycare, Emily Hammerly failed to do her duty as a mandated reporter to report the abuse. He says instead, Emily Hammerly allowed her son Joseph to work his entire shift the day after the reported abuse near the victim, so it didn't appear like Joseph Hammerly was, quote, hiding from anything.
And I'm sure she was anxious and scared and worried because she was powerless, to stop him from any sort of retribution or further sexual abuse.
The father says there is now a lack of trust. He is asking the Missouri Attorney General's office to appoint a special prosecutor.
I think it's inappropriate for the prosecution to want to hold on to the case. We've asked the Missouri AG to step in.
A spokesperson for the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office said they have no plans to request a special prosecutor, saying that there is no legal basis for that request. The father says he plans to move forward with that request. Reporting from Lee Summit, Emily Rittman, KCTV5 News.
In a statement, the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office says the plea agreement scheduled this morning in the Emily Hammerly case was offered in hopes of limiting the 3 child victims' courtroom testimony to 1 case, not 2.